Let's continue practice. In this program, we would like to read an integer and count its number of digits. See here the screen. If the user entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are to print the number of digits of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 5 digits. There is one way to do this program in a trivial way, which is as simple as to convert it to a string and then just then the length of the string would be enough. In many of my practices, I can use the Python functionalities to give a direct answer, like the power function in the last time, the string here. But the moral of that is we are learning how to be stronger in the language itself. So stop the program and think in how to print the number of digits using what we learned in the modulus and the division lecture. So here is the logic of the program. The idea is very simple. We are going to take the number as an input and the digit is our output, and we would say as following: while number is greater than 0, so there are more digits, we are going to increment our digit and we are going to divide by 10 integer division, which will remove the last digit from the number. So let's make a tracing. Num here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is num greater than 0? Yes. So we increment a digit and we then say num divided by 10. When we do that, we have now the number as 1, 2, 3, 4. So we added plus 1 for the 5 that we removed, and we removed the 5. Let's continue. The 1, 2, 3, 4 is greater than 0. So the digits sorry for that. The digit is going to be incremented with 1, and we will remove the last digit with now 4. Now the num is 1, 2, 3 greater than 0. We are going to remove the 3 and increment the digits. Then 1, 2, which is greater than 0, we are going to remove the 2 and then increment the digits. And again, 1 is greater than 0, we will remove the 1 and increment the digits. Now we have 5 digits counted here. Num now becomes 0. So while 0 greater than 0 is false, so the condition is going to be break, and when printing that, the digits will have 5 numbers. Now the code looks very nice, but there are 3 bugs in this code. The word bug is very popular in programming, and it means something wrong in your code. The core functionality of this program is correct, but as an overall there are 3 bugs, and I would like you to put some effort to identify them. The first bug is in line number 11, which is very trivial bug. Going back to here in this code, num here is going to be always 0. Remember that we actually kept dividing num till it became 0. So num here will always be 0, but we wanted here to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which this code is going to print number of digits of 0 is 5. So this number now is corrupted. So the idea is very simple. We are going to take a copy of num before starting this division process. And here we are going to say number of digits of num2, which will have a copy, the original value, is 5. So this way we solve the problem. So there are still 2 bugs in this code. Try to figure out them. The first bug here, or the second overall, is the 0. If we entered 0 for this input, the output should be the number of digits of 0 is 1. But as this condition is while number is greater than or greater than 0, this condition will never be activated. So the overall will be here like digits 0. You cannot say while number is greater than or equal 0, because it's going to be 0 forever. So you cannot do that. So you have to make a special if condition for the 0. If number is equal 0, then directly the answer is 1. Otherwise, the digits equal 0, and then you do your code here. So the moral of that, we made the special treatment for the number equal 0 as a special case. There is one more case missing in this code. What is it? If you couldn't figure out here, the answer is if we entered a negative value, this program will fail. I would like to think in a negative value and try to solve the problem. Let's solve it. When you enter a negative value, the while loop here will never works, because let's say we entered -1 to 3. is minus 1 to 3 greater than 0? No, it isn't. So it's going to just go here and print 0 digits. So the way to handle that, again, we need some special treatment when number is 0. So I'm handling here the special case of 0, and then I'm saying here if the number is negative, multiply it with negative 1. So if the number is minus 1 to 3, minus 1 to 3 would be 1 to 3. Now we switched the number from negative to positive, and then we started to write our own code, which is going to be perfect. So definitely everything in this code is perfect as long as the user was doing well and entering an integer. In the future, we should learn more how to handle more of invalid inputs, but for now the program is perfect. The moral of today's practice, it isn't easy to produce code that is completely correct. You should have deep thinking in your code. You should think about the different cases, like thinking about today. We needed to think about 0 as input. We needed to think about negative values, positive values. Sometimes you need to think about even values and odd values. You need to think about all of the different cases that are enough to judge your code. It isn't easy to produce valid codes. And to be a strong programmer, you have to think a lot about this level of exercising. And one advantage in this course comparing to others, I am focusing a lot on this basic level, because this is your fundamentals. This is where your whole project is going to end up in this minor, a few lines of code. If you aren't strong in building such minor things, you are going to build big projects that will fail a lot. Definitely you will face in your life a lot of mobile applications, a lot of websites that will fail a lot, that you try to do something and it doesn't. Why? Because the engineers who did this code weren't good enough to catch as much as possible from the bugs. Definitely when we ship code to industry, it isn't 0 bugs. Definitely there are some bugs, but they should be really very hard bugs. They shouldn't be trivial cases like today. That's all.